Hi, my name is Jason Gutierrez, and today I'm going to answer some questions from the questionnaire. Um, First, in your opinion, why is inventory management so important today's global supply chains? Okay, inventory management is crucial in global supply chains for several key reasons. First, the cost reduction. Second, customer satisfaction. Third, visibility. Fourth, adaptability. Five, efficiency. And six, regulatory uh, compliance. Do you think keeping extra inventory is a smart way to prepare for supply disruptions? Why or why not? Maintaining additional inventory can be useful as safety measure, but it should be carefully evaluated based on the type of business, the likelihood of disruptions, and the cost involved. The key is to find a balance between having now inventory to face potential crisis and not involve operations with unnecessary costs.
What do you believe is more important, cost efficient or resilient in inventory planning? Explain your view. I believe resilience in inventory planning is ultimately more important than pure cost efficiency. Although cost efficiency is crucial for companies, probability and competitiveness, and single mind focus on minimizing inventory costs can leave a supply chain dangerous exposed to disruptions. When unforeseen events occur, such as some demand spikes or supply interruptions, and underprepared supply chain may suffer substantial financial losses and reputational damage tied for exit and short-term savings. By contrast, resilience-oriented inventory strategies such as proportions sufficient stock, diversifying suppliers, or receiving additional capacity can help a supply chain absorb and recover from these disruptions more effectively. While these measures can increase operating costs in the short run, they safeguard the firm's ability to meet customer demand, preserve revenue, and maintain stable operation in the face of uncertainty. In other words, a realistic supply chain may carry higher costs, but also reduce the risk of catastrophic failures that can erode to and long-term probability. Therefore, it's not about choosing on the over the other in absolute terms. Cost efficient and resilience must be balanced. However, when prioritizing resilience of housing cost efficient because the impact of outside disruption can be so significant that the initial cost savings become inconsequential compared to the cost of recovery and lost market opportunities. Have you seen or a company that failed to poor inventory management? What could they have done differently? Yes. One noted example is Toys R USA. A lot is done was though a combination of factors including heavy debt and inability to compete in the evolving digital marketplace. Poor inventory management played a significant role. The company often struggled while maintaining an optimal inventory balance. In either held to move stock in brick and mortar store of Filete efficiency integrate its supply chain while emerging e-commerce demands. Had Toyota USA implement a more agile data-driven inventory management system, it could have better forecast customer demand and optimize its stock level across different channels. For instance, use a real-time analytics and integrate supply chain system will have allowed the company to adjust more rapidly the shift in demand, reduce excess inventory costs, and improve profitability. If you were a supply chain manager, what inventory stress would you prioritize and why? If were a supply chain manager, would prioritize a hybrid inventory strategy that balance lean practice while build in resilience. This strategy will integrate agile inventory management using real-time data analytics and demand forecast to minimize excess stock, while strict safety stock and collaborate supply practice to coach against unexpected disruption. In practice, this means adopting just-in-time principles the rules holding cost while maintaining a buffer that accounts for variability in both demand and supply. Moreover, by leveraging technologies like vendor managed inventory and advanced analytics, I call advanced visibility across the supply chain, enabling rapid response to changing market conditions and minimizing the impact on disruptions.
Question 5. Who, how would you personally handle inventory management in a small business during a crisis like a pandemic? To manage inventory in a small business during a crisis like a pandemic, I would 1. Set up at last 2. Solve supplies for key items. 2. Keep soft stock for critical products. 3. Make flexible deal with local suppliers. 4. Use, use a system to track inventory levels in real time. 5. Watch demand partners closely to adjust order quickly. 6. Share data with similar business to better manage resources. Question 6. What do you think is the biggest challenge companies face when trying to improve supply chain resilience? The biggest challenge in improving supply chain resilience is balancing costs with readiness for unpredictable events. Specifically, 1. It's hard, uh, it's hard to justify spending on extra capacity and multiple supplies when it raises immediate cost. 2. Companies struggle to predict what type of disruption will happen and their impact. 3. The complexity of global supply chains makes it difficult to spot all weak points. 4. Working with multiple suppliers and partners requires advanced information system and teamwork.
Do you think technology like AI and data analysis can actually help parents supply chain problems with, or Why not? Yes, they definitely can. AI and data analytics make it possible to identify permanent, predict risk, and optimize process, helping to prevent supply chain disruption by leveraging this technology. Companies can anticipate problems before they occur and take proactive measures. What lesson can students of future professionals learn from the failures and success monitor in the country? Continue learning, feelings some not be perceived solely as negative. They are opportunities to analyze errors and strengthen vulnerable areas of the supply chain, preparing for the unexpected. Failures demonstrate the importance of anticipating disruption, show us a natural desire of pandemics through strategic stock filling and super diversification. A smart use of technology integrating advanced analysis and forecasting tools allow for inventory automation and improved decision making in uncertain times.